Don't worry, I'm just having technical, don't play it on a loop difficulties on my side. I was waiting for it to drop and it started again, and I'm like, what the hell? Anyways, hello, welcome back to Heroes and Hooligans for Monday nights full of shenanigans where Hooli has tech issues for the rest of forever. Jesus Christ. All right, that scared me. I was not ready for it to start over again, actually. Happy Monday, friends. Here we are doing grim hollow things in the campaign of Delirium, where our very drunk at this point party is trying to make their way back to their hotel room. Let's talk about it. You know what? Speaking of drunk, Sir Storic, why don't you give us a recap from last week?
The one time I don't go straight for the nose.
The one time you don't go straight for the nose.
So last week we started out in our hotel room, having just opened the pair of wooden daggers we bought from the rogue at the stall, Frederick, and discovered that we may have rented a room at the wrong tavern. There was a bit of an incident with invisibility potions spilling and making hands disappear, gauntlets that are far too large for those wearing them, and Brill realizing, oh, I might be the most sane and responsible person in the room. Although that might have happened 2 or 3 times. We then made our way over to the Pig's Tit Tavern and found that Frederick was there. The mace turned out to just be the price of a meeting where we could try to get more information instead of the price of the information itself. And he was very particular about how he wanted to be asked for information, which grew to frustrate Storic very, very quickly. However, Brill and Valentina found Frederick much more pliable and were able to get the information out of him with much less difficulty, as Storic went and searched for the information at the bottom of a bottle instead. And upon not discovering it there, started another bottle. And then started stumbling into Church's drunk. And waxing poetical about statues.
Yeah, it was good. It was really really good stuff, Storic. Talking to the fucking statue.
Yeah. Now, Brill and Valentina did manage to discover that the cult of the Black Lady both is made up of and worships a vampire. Almost entirely Brill. Valentina was a bit of window dressing.
Reading into the wrong things.
Reading into the wrong things is right.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, but at least Valentina was able to, I suppose we'll use the word relax Frederick enough to allow Brill to apply the information necessary. I suppose that's a good way to put it.
I kind of feel like the Brill did that pretty much just on her own, and Val was just kind of
Brill
like,
feels like she didn't get anything.
Wow. And this is what happens when you have a whole crew of people with self-esteem issues.
Oh, no. I won't say it on the think that I didn't think I got anything. I know I got nothing, and I know I goofed. But hey, you know what? I got him a drink. So
you did.
Hey,
yeah.
You did better than Storic. You did better than Storic.
I mean, when the bar is that low.
Did do better than Storic, and the bar wasn't very low, was it? Or wasn't very high at all. It was extremely low. All right.
Look, when the bar is sea level, you gotta just step over.
Oh, please, James Cameron, bring the bar back up.
Please do, right? All right, so that's where we're at then. You're back-ish to the tavern. You were right outside of it. Let's get a map. Not brought to you by Owlbear because I'm still salty about that. All right, you are in the city of Lysek, in the region of the city that is dedicated to the Bank of Augustine Trading Company, which is right south of the King's Coin where you happen to be staying, though you probably should have picked a place at the Pig's Tit because they have better drinks. So let's do it. Let's get inside.
Tina is just kind of at this point, kind of like to keep herself from walking in a stumbling fashion, is kind of looking down at her feet, kind of like taking the step carefully, thinks her stride's going, takes 2 steps and half trips, and rinse repeat.
That's pretty fair. I think a couple of you have levels of drunk. I can't remember who does. I know Storic does. We know that, but
we both
I
do.
believe Storic and Tina were both at 2 levels. Storic and Tina were both at 2 levels of drunk, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or did you move to 3? No, wait, no, we didn't. No one got to 3 yet. That's right.
Yeah, you didn't quite get to 3. Once you get to about 5 to 7 is when shit really starts to go sideways.
Like your balance.
Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close, yeah. Pretty close like your balance. So you stumble, you get to the King's Coin, and you're already completely annihilated. Some of you, others of you more responsible party members. And you get in. You get inside, and somebody carries somebody up the stairs. I'm certain of it, because why wouldn't you be assisting your drunk friends so they're not face planting trying to get up them? And you get into your room. And you only bought 1 room, so you get to figure out who's sleeping on the floor and who isn't. And what are you doing when you get up there?
Tina, after helping walk Storic up, is gonna kind of let go of Storic, go over, hug Brill, and be like, "Let's go to sleep," and go to the bed.
I like that the person that helped the drunk Storic was the other drunk person.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because
Tina's
think
version
about it.
of helping Storic is like when you see one really, really tiny stick being used to prop up an entire tree.
Exactly. But also think about it. When she came in, she was on Storic's arm, so practically all she did was just kind of lean into him and hold on to his arm. And it's like, okay, now I can actually take steps up the stairs. Let's go.
Right. I just imagine Valentina and Storic walking up the stairs first, and then behind them you have Brill and Harnock with their hands out like this, just in case. Shoulder to shoulder up the stairs. Brill and Harnock just at each other like, what the hell did we get ourselves into?
I was about to say, if Storic falls, I don't know if we're stopping it.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of a boulder rolling down the hill. There's probably no stopping it.
But yeah, I think Storic gets into the room, goes to stand up against a wall, and just sort of slides down it until he's sitting. And is sleeping there.
It's fitting. I like it. I dig it. All right, so Storic is sleeped out against the wall. I think Valentina's probably face planted in one of the beds now. Brill, Harnock, responsible party mates. What are you doing?
Harnock will probably he'll probably stay closer to the door, but he's also gonna like sit with his back against the wall and kind of relax.
Brill will kind of just like sit at a table, idly twiddling with things for a little bit, and then she'll get up and turn to Harnock, and she'll be like, "If you get tired, wake me up. If there are vampires here, I don't really trust this inn's walls to protect us."
Can do.
Okay. All right. So Harnock near the door, slumped against the wall, kind of on first watch, protecting the door. Valentina face down in one of the beds. Storic probably against the wall near a window, slumped out. And Brill at the desk, probably going to fall asleep like she's been working a 16-hour day in the office and still has paperwork to get filed. So,
Sounds about right.
all right,
About
perfect. All right, perfect. Okay. So that will afford you a short rest only. Given the amount of time between a short and a long rest, I will allow you to remove your levels of drunkenness on a short rest, because 3 days of being tore up from the floor up just sounds awesome, but in reality probably isn't. So let's make that a thing. So get some short rests in there. And while you're doing that, Frederick, my friend, Frederick, how is your evening? How is your evening played out since the party of curious adventurers strolled into the Pig's Tit, where you happen to be trying to relax after a long day of hawking your wares in a plague-ridden, disease-infested rat city?
Oh, I think it would be very calm. Probably follow them back to wherever they're staying to keep an eye on them.
Okay. So you do that. You see that they take the long way around town, very, very clearly avoiding the High Belfry after the information they learned from you. And you follow them back through the Bank of Augustine Trading Company to the King's Coin, which you are familiar with being the other tavern in town, run by the Merchants Guild, essentially. What do you choose to do with this knowledge?
What do I do? That's a good question. I just go in and sit near the back and just wait for them to come out.
In the tavern? You'd go in the regular tavern and sit towards the back somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. So probably about the time they are going to be getting up is, I would say, usually Harnock or Brill and Sir Storic are the first to wake. I'm gonna probably guess Sir Storic isn't in the first two to wake up today. So Brill, usually you wake up in the mornings first to do your calisthenics and such.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, Storic's got that military background of get drunk, wake up for your shift.
Fair.
Huh.
You know what? That is fair.
Yeah.
That is very fair.
Can I make a con check for him?
You can. You can go ahead and give me a con DC 14. Yes, Tier, you were asking a question. You said Hooli.
Yes. While I'm asleep,
I
as
was
it
just
seems,
to that.
my question was going to be nice and simple. Not being invasive this time, because she wants to try and get as much of a feel around. While she's asleep, Valentina will feel around the dreams of everybody that's asleep within the mile, and I mean everyone's, whether it's literally not even seeing what they're dreaming, but just getting the feeling of what their dreams are about. Specifically looking for any shadowy, ugh, I hate the sun, but I love the taste of blood kind of feelings.
Well, so vampires don't sleep. They trance like elves. So I don't think you would be able to walk into any of those kind of blood-sucking dreams, but you would be able to, as you traverse through Lysec, experience a lot of emotion through stepping through different dreams. The emotions of people who have lost family members, the emotions of mothers who have children who are infected with the plague, the feeling of grief that comes associated with that. Fathers who have had to bury their children before themselves, have lost their jobs. They, went from living a decently middle-class life to living something more wretched and squalor. You would feel from people who are passing through this area a sense of sympathy to the area, but also a sense of fear because nobody wants to walk away from Lysec with the plague. That's pretty much, I think, what you're going to get from the overall. Like I said, people don't sleep and it's nighttime, so if they did sleep, you'd be dream walking at the wrong time to be able to communicate with them.
Yes, most definitely. Last but not least, I actually have an interesting question for Frederick. Sir Frederick, while you're sitting there waiting to spy on us, do you nod off at all right there in the tavern? All right, you're good. So you don't get a random free drink that you can't account for how the fuck it got there in your dream.
Nope.
Yeah. No, Frederick most definitely does not. You do not find him in your dream walking, but you do find your friends. And are you knocking at the door for any of them? You said Storic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, if anything, just for the funsies of it, Tina will poke Storic by giving him a nice around in the morning.
All right, so we've established that
Storic,
Tina is
you're muted now.
Good. Glad to know.
You're muted, Storic. No.
You're muted.
So you're going into Storic's dream and doing that to wake him up?
Literally just.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Storic wakes up. He's like, that was actually a bit better. I don't mind that. You can do that.
Tina's out cold on the bed. Her head is in a pillow. There's a big blanket covering the rest of it, and she's like kind of like Sid was in Toy Story, like literally just.
Yep. Drool and everything, just running from her.
Ass up, just a mess.
Just a mess, yeah. But it's good to know that Storic likes that kind of wake-up call.
Storic rolls his back, stands up, stretches out a bit, looks at Brill. Are you ready for our exercises?
Yeah, I don't know if we can really do it here. We might have to go out somewhere.
Nonsense. And he just shoves the bed into the corner. Picks up Harnock as gently as he can, and then sets Harnock next to Valentina. Plenty of space.
Okay.
We don't want to leave our friends here sleeping and unsecured.
That's actually not terrible advice.
Oh, that's a dope rogue. I know what rogue.
But yeah, so I think Brill and I are going to try to do our morning calisthenics in the room here.
All right. So you do that. You have your morning calisthenics, probably about 5 a.m. when Brill rolls out of bed because she's an early riser. You get up, you do that. Your hour-long workout goes around. It's about 6 o'clock. Harnock and Tina, are you still sleeping or are you waking up?
I think Harnock would probably be waking up.
Right? Yeah, they got moved. I assume they got woke up earlier.
Yeah, that's up to Harnock.
Yeah, I
would-
think
If Harnock got added to the bed, Valentina's probably sleeping harder because now there's something warm. It just
Fair.
instinctively cuddle up.
Harnock's just dragged into a cuddle puddle without even thinking that he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right. So wake your asses up. It's morning time and you got shit to do.
Yeah, Harnock could get up, and if Valentina's not up, Harnock could kind of like scoot out slowly.
She just kind of slowly drags along. She has a full like arm lock.
He'll grab the pillow and try and like get it in between them and try and get her off.
You know what? Give me a sleight of hand at advantage because she's sleeping. Let's see how well this goes.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. That +0. Oh, I got a 17.
All right, yes. I'll say you were able to do that. You were able to slip the pillow in there.
Harnock will just slide out of bed the best he can.
Great. So Tina, you're the only one left sleeping. It's probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock-ish now. You waking up or are you still zonked out?
Oh, she's up shortly thereafter. Just kind of throws the pillow at him after he gets out. Just like, killjoy.
All right.
And just wrap the blanket around and go hobbling over to find her books.
All right. So everybody's rested. They're up. You got your short rest in. And
I will also
what do you,
use my arcane recovery. I'm so sorry. I almost forgot about that.
yep. If you have any short rest things that you need to do to recover spell slots or, whatever other things that you've used, by all means. And I know there's a few things that you've discussed. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Storik's just going to prestidigitate us all clean real quick.
Yeah, that's fair. Who needs a bath?
Everyone smells faintly of lavender.
Storik, can I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
Are you registered?
Yes. No. Not with a circle. With the Inquisition.
The Inquisition that isn't the Inquisition anymore. It's different now. Like, your circle, your thing might not be there. You might want to be careful.
We're just in the privacy of our room. It'll be fine. Besides, there's a fun little loophole as a member of the Old Inquisition, which I'm assuming the codes are still based on. You can actually pardon yourself for magic use.
I mean, I feel like that's probably happened. I cannot dispute that. You obviously followed the codes much more stringently than I ever did. But I guess I was just saying, like, if we're going out into the mansion and if we're going to be drinking, I don't think you did anything last night.
So keep it low.
Yeah. Essentially same thing, Tina. You didn't do anything wrong. I don't care if you're magic.
Yeah, keep it out of public. Of course. That's how it always is.
It also takes far too long to recover. She's doing her stretches and stretching out and such.
Storik's gonna prestidigitate the smell of smelling salts into Tina's nostrils real quick.
Hold on. And she's gonna come back over and like ask for more. Like those smelled very good. I feel so chipper now.
Way to go, Chipper. You made Valentina feel chipper.
I didn't consider that.
Well, I considered it immediately.
Oh no, I considered it. I didn't consent to it. No feeling me on this. No feeling me on this show. You got to pay a little more for that.
I'm sorry, Chip, but unfortunately, your consent was not in the question.
God, stop.
Anyways, we're gonna move on here. Everyone's awake, and I think we paid for breakfast, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
You did. All right, breakfast it up. Down the stairs you go into the tavern. And as you make it down, I do believe one of you has a high enough passive perception to notice. You will see sitting at the bar a very, very familiar face.
Tina will be a minute. By all rights and accounts, she needed time. She needed to get dressed, and
Yeah.
everybody,
Sure.
and we had the two men in the room.
I've got a 14 passive perception. I don't know if that's high enough.
I was gonna say I have a
20.
13. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nothing gets past Harnock's sight.
No.
Nothing goes over. Nothing goes over his head. He would catch it.
He's best goldfish boy, of course not.
I'm the greatest goldfish.
I was gonna say goldfish powers activate.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes just bulge out to look in all directions.
I'll kind of like tap Brill and motion my head towards the dude once I notice him.
What do you want to do about it?
I don't know. Do we have any more business with him?
I mean, Brill looks around. If we're gonna do a thing, he wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad to have extra hands, especially not ones familiar with the area.
From how we left it, it sounded like he was kind of done with us, so it's possible he wants something now.
Oh, Stork. Well, like, I wasn't trying to like hide the conversation from Stork either. Stork,
Oh, no,
I
Stork-
assume would hear. Yeah.
Stork's listening. He's just
Okay. Okay.
he's letting you take the lead. You did better with this guy than he did.
Yeah. All right. If you guys want to go get a table, I'll see if he wants to join us, I guess.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
And Brill will approach.
Tell him meal for the morning's on me.
Okay. Brill will approach. Does Brill want to get breakfast first or go straight to Fred?
Nah, Brill's going straight to Fred. Business
Okay.
first.
Business first. All right.
While Brill's doing this, Stork's ordering 5 meals.
All right, Stork, I'll get you your breakfast first because it's super simple and easy. This tavern's breakfast is, I bet you can guess it, gruel.
Yeah, baby! Stork's favorite food.
Just like lumpy oatmeal, kind of. Pretty.
Anyone who sees Stork's face light up with the most joy you've actually, the most genuine, full, yes, you've seen in a while. He orders himself an extra bowl.
Let's get the tavern up here. Let me get you guys that so we can visualize things. All right. Tavern. Okay. So Stork orders you guys some breakfast. You get gruel and a side of these little round patties of meat. They're not listed as any certain type of meat, and they're cooked pretty well done, but something like meat flavored hardtack.
Meat? Question mark.
Yes.
Gruel and mystery meat.
At the most expensive tavern in the area. I love it.
Yeah.
Stork's looking around like, the trick with the mystery meat is to crumble it up and put it in the gruel. That way it tastes less like a rock.
Harnock will follow this. He will do this.
And the gruel tastes more like rocks.
When Val finally makes it down, she'll sit in front of one of the plates, look over to see Brill beginning a conversation, and is going to pull out one of the vials of herbs, and it's going to crumble a very small amount of Cedrus galacifolia over this gruel to help her relax.
Yeah, it'd be about the equivalent of adding about 25 milligrams of CBD to your breakfast. So just like, good to go. Nice and relaxing, no buzz off of it. And Brill, you are with Frederick.
Not the face I expected to see this morning. Thought you were done with us.
He doesn't say anything, puts the dagger away that he's got in his hand, and he just fades into nothingness.
There's just an audible echoing, just snorted laugh that comes from the group's table, clearly from Tina.
Brill is literally like doing these things for about 30 seconds before she composes herself and goes down to sit at the table, since it sounded like Storic ordered for everyone.
Can I ask him to roll a perception check? Oh, hey, sorry.
Yeah, give me a perception, bro.
I mean, it's a little better. I think it's a 15.
Yeah, I think that'd be noticeable enough to notice the carving he made in the bar before him.
And
it simply just says, "I'll meet you in a minute."
Okay.
Yeah, you speak Thieves' Cant, Brill, so you'd probably be able to pick up on that.
Yeah, Brill can also read any written language.
Gang shit.
If that's the case, Brill will still make those faces and instead take the seat where whatever that was, and just wait.
Okay. So you're going to join your friends. Okay. All right, so you have breakfast. It's pretty uneventful. It's not really a great breakfast, but it'll stick to you and give you some sustenance for the day.
It'll give you some rock on your bones.
You know, I don't think mystery meats and gruel is good for a stomach that's trying to do backflips. So glad I had that relaxation hat.
I don't know. I mean, that porridge was pretty heavy. Probably give you a nice firm base to start with for the day.
And now we know why the before the show conversation about Frederick joining the party is an absolutely no.
Yes. As they're all sitting at the table and enjoying their breakfast, he just appears seemingly out of nowhere and just takes a seat. Hood up, and the only thing you can see is like maybe slightly his eyes and the bottom of his chin. His manly beard standing out. Well, mustache, I should say, not beard.
Bro will give like a nod and just say,
Well, I was waiting for you to wake up.
I thought you didn't really want anything to do with us. If I remember your words correctly, I believe you told us to leave and get as far away from here as possible.
Yes, but I can also tell stubborn idiots when I see them.
I I think we
And-
told you that.
That's Valentina's fault.
If you are intent on doing this, then I will do my best.
Okay. We were going to go and check out the manor first, since it seems there might be a connection. See what we can find out there before we just go into a den of vipers.
Vipers. I like this term. Fits.
I thought so. Do you need some food? We can get it, I guess. Guys, I guess Fred's coming with us. Is it okay if I call you Fred?
You can call me whatever you like. But no, I do not need sustenance.
Can I try and get a closer look at Fred? Does Fred look alive?
Very, very pale.
Yeah.
He might. I don't know. Give me an insight or something. Give me something.
Okay.
Dice,
Yeah.
and we'll see what.
I'll give you an insight.
I'll
That's-
take that insight roll.
Yeah, that's
That's a
13
19.
here, so I probably don't notice a ton.
No, he looks exactly the same as he does yesterday.
It's a 19.
The only
for
thing that's
Stork.
changed is his accent.
19.
All right. From
18
Stork
plus
Stork.
one.
and both a 19. When you say to them, Fred, that you don't need sustenance, two of them are sussing you out. So is it something that you wish to explain here, or would you rather them find out in private conversation, maybe along the way to the manor?
Right now, he's hiding it because
Okay.
of his disguised self, but they wouldn't be able to say anything other than what they saw yesterday.
Okay. I'll say that with your 19 insights, even though Fred is insane with the numbers, that you're able to realize Fred might be different.
That begs the question. Actually, did Fred actually drink any of those drinks last night?
Give me
No, he did
a
not.
history check, Valentina, to see if
I
the
will.
young guest can even recall what happened with Fred the night before.
All right. Well, that's a 23.
Okay, yeah, you do not remember seeing Frederick drink any of the alcoholic drinks that you placed in front of him. Okay.
Val just kind of stirs the gruel, the leftover gruel around in her bowl. She's been really kind of like picking at it slowly, but takes notes, but does not say anything out loud.
Brill relatively eats like a soldier, finishes her food fairly quickly, probably.
Like I said, Stork's taking that extra bowl he bought for Frederick as well as the extra bowl he bought for himself. He's just chowing down. He's having a good grand old time.
So Stork is content with breakfast. Frederick isn't eating breakfast. Harnock is Harnock at breakfast. And what about Timo and Brill? How do you feel about your breakfast?
Brill also has soldier, like in her. She's used to being on the road, so the food doesn't really bother her, and she probably like once Frederick shows up and is like, "Yeah, I'll help," she kind of goes into that mode and just kind of eats the rest of her breakfast without saying much and getting ready to go.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna get through breakfast then, and where's your first? You want to go to the manor first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think that's what we were talking about.
That-
Actually, I
was-
think the goal is to go check and see what time we need to pay our next dock fee first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You should probably do that first.
We're
Oh, we need to
taking
take the
our
boat. We're taking the
to
boat.
get
Oh.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if
never
we
mind.
end up moving into the manor, we can just offload the stuff there and
That's fair. Yeah.
close
Never
down
mind.
the
Ignore
boat.
me.
Maybe we do docks when we on our way back if we don't stay there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's smart.
That's fair.
I will remind that the manor is technically on its own little island, or is it? Do we have to go like around the bay? I can't remember the map. That specific part of the map.
It was kind of in the bay, I think. Right? It was just like across. I think it's
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could go all the way through the go around and go take a gander at the quarantine zone if we wanted to take by land. Otherwise, we can ride Harnock across the way.
Or the
Or
boat.
we could just take the boat across.
We're right, Harnock. We're making it different.
I'm trying to imagine everybody riding a goldfish, and it's just interesting.
Okay, well that was a goldfish. Last time he was a crocodile, so
Yeah,
I
I'm-
imagine a
So
crocodile
you tie some
with goldfish.
string around the goldfish, and everyone just holds on.
We'll
I
tie the
need-
goldfish to the boat so the boat goes one goldfish faster.
There you go.
I need to get a shirt made for Harnock that says "The mount that smiles back, goldfish."
Yeah. I can't find goldfish in the bestiary. I'm gonna need that to be added.
1/10 of a
We'll
hit
probably
point.
have to homebrew it, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Yeah. So you're up at the King's Coin. You can go down to where your boat is, which is here at the
Is our
harbor
stuff
map.
safe?
I mean, nobody's messed with it, and Tina did tell you your stuff was magically warded. So, I mean, they can't really. The harbor master could possibly, like, commandeer it, but nobody has seemed to be bothered with it. As long as you go in at some point today and pay for another overnight for your boat, you should be fine. So, all right, let's do it. Let's go down to the manor, Bauengrot Manor. You're going to find yourselves on a tiny little island here.
Fuck you, Owlbear. I keep trying to click and drag and zoom in.
Fuck you, Owlbear. It's right.
This session was brought to you
here's
by
a really good.
Fuck Out There.
As I was just going to say, this stream is not sponsored by Owlbear, and we hate you.
Yeah, anti-sponsored.
Yeah,
You will never know the beauty of being a goldfish.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, you get across to the island where the manor is, and you know a little bit more about the manor now. It was previously owned by the Bauengrot family, the founding family of Lysek in its former glory. You even came across the statue. Storic made good friends with that statue of Otto Bauengrot, the original of the family members. So that is where you are. That is where you find yourself. What do you do when you pull into the dock?
I think first thing first, tie the boat off.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then probably get a lay. Maybe just walk around the beach, get a look from all angles before we even try to go up.
Okay. So you want to do some scouting. Storic, you want to send your raven? I think it's a raven, right?
Yeah, it's a raven right now. Orsine, is more than willing to go scout for us. Storic looks up at Brill. All right. Watch over me while I watch through her. And his eyes go blank as he's looking through her eyes.
Since we were able to make it back to the boat, Val is gonna grab the supplies that she needs, and while they're doing that, she's just gonna kind of sit on the boat and start burning some incense, herbs, and such in the brass brazier. And I'm gonna ritually cast Find Familiar, which I've been meaning to do since we got here.
Yeah, you can do that. Frederick, your newfound friends have taken you with them on their boat, and their boat is not like a boat you've probably ever seen before. It's a giant swan.
I mean, in his time, he's seen some pretty ridiculous stuff, so it's definitely up there.
It definitely is up there with ridiculous. It's a big giant 30-foot barge in the shape of a swan. So just imagine the little swan boats you ride through the love tunnel, but mega.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, okay. I can picture it now.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine us riding into a perfect storm on the swan boat.
Oh, you did. You did ride into
We
a
did.
perfect-
That's exactly like.
Also, question, what's the weather like right now?
Well, you're in Lysek, which the weather here seems to be on its own weather pattern. It's pretty much always misty and cloud cover, overcast sort of days. There's not really a ton of sunshine and such in the area.
All right, okay. That's good to know.
Hey, Huli. So the last time we talked about or Find Familiar with me, you may or may not have alluded to I don't have a choice in the form. Is that actually the case?
No, I was just teasing you. Are you warlock or you're wizard, right?
I am wizard, but
right,
because of the fiend transformation and the deal with Christopher Robin, I wasn't sure if you were going to be like, no, you have a little invisible imp. Enjoy.
Yeah, I really actually think I want you to have an imp because, yeah, why wouldn't you?
That's perfectly fine. I just can't have him attack because I'm not a warlock.
Yep, you're not a warlock, so that's why I needed to remember because I had recalled the imp, but I wasn't certain. So yeah, you will have an imp familiar.
So as this all happens after 10 minutes and the flames around the incense and just kind of like rise and you kind of see like something start to take shape in the flame as the flame just drops in the brazier, there's nothing there. But Val's looking directly at the freaking imp like,
yeah.
Oh.
And the imp will introduce himself to you as being named Woodhouse.
I love Woodhouse.
And he just says, "At your service, ma'am."
Oh, he's posh. I like it.
And she just kind of is looking at this thing bewildered for a moment, and then just kind of gets a little smile, and while she's in the seat, just kind of lifts her robes a little bit, does a half curtsy, and says, "Oh, finally, someone with some class."
I will stand here not being offended.
And she'll look over by Frederick and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you have plenty of class, but you didn't take my drink. That slightly."
I do not drink in front of women. Or in front of anyone, really, but there's no choice.
Fair enough, but you could have told me and I would have enjoyed the drink. Now it's just sitting there for some random schlum to drink.
I mean, I didn't exactly take it. So.
Fair again.
Tina, you do have this imp who has the ability to be invisible, but if you ask himself to reveal himself to your friends so you're not talking to the thin air, he will.
Yeah. Due to the definite presence of Harnock, Tina will definitely keep the imp remaining invisible.
Yeah. All right. So what you see, even though he's invisible, what you see is he's very plain, very shadow-esque. He's like just the whites of his eyes, well, the yellows of his eyes, and like black.
Very little dark thing you are.
to keep my cover while I'm serving you, ma'am.
And she just kind of leans in close and reaches for its little cheek and says, "So cute, perfect."
I'm happy my cuteness pleases you, ma'am.
So, can you do me a big favor, Woodhouse? You see that manor up there? Would you happen to go and wander on in, take a look around, take advantage of your rather hidden presence?
And
Let me
would you
know
like
what you
me to
find.
start tea when I get inside for you, ma'am?
If you're able to find a good reason that there's nothing to put us in danger, I think a cup of tea would be wonderful.
He snaps his fingers and Dobby's out.
Tina is so happy with us right now.
Stork, go ahead and roll me your perceptions for your warding that you're doing here.
Okay. 19.
Okay. Tell me
And
what
I'd
it is
like to.
I glean.
Yeah, I'd actually ask if I could maybe do an investigation as well. And I'm just looking for any ways into the house that look like a way in other than the front door, kind of right now, and looking to see if there's any moving presence around here now.
Okay.
Looking for looking for like a side door, like a stable door maybe, or anybody walking around.
Okay. So looking at the map here in front of you, you see this building here would be like the stables and such. And then this would be the actual manor itself. So the stables and the house are not connected, but you're free to look both places if you wish.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll fly off to this. I'll have Orsine fly over to the stables first and take a peek in there, see what sort of condition they're in. And that's 25 investigation.
Okay. So what you see when you get to the stables, no animals in there, some rats running loose and free, but you do see a travel cart that appears to be in almost perfect condition.
Do I see any tracks leading up to it? Like, does it look like it's been sitting here for a while? Or?
It looks like it's been sitting there.
Right.
Yep. There's a sheen of dust across the top of it and all of that.
Unable to hear his own voice, just speaking to the members of the party around him. In the stable, there's a cart that hasn't left in ages. A layer of dust, weeks or months thick at least. No animals there to pull it. Not even a horse's corpse to be seen.
Okay.
Then fly over to the manor and see if there's any openings where Orsine can peek into.
Several parts of the manor appear to be worse for wear. It's not as dilapidated as you had expected it to be, given nobody lives there. But you could probably get in through a window. It looks like some kids have thrown some rocks and busted out some windows. Maybe come over to have parties in the middle of the night. Whatever it is that kids do when they don't want their parents bothering them, sort of shit. You know what I'm saying? Teenagers, not children.
It seems like before things fell apart, there was some vandalism here by the children of the area. Doesn't seem. And I'm going to have Orsine's swoop down to one of those openings and just get a read on the lighting situation. Does it seem like there's anything lit in there, or is it just where the natural light comes in through the breaks?
Pretty much just the natural light. No torches lit, anything like that. Several wall sconces with torches that are unburning inside of them, things of the sort.
Unlit torches everywhere. Just going to keep flying through and looking to see if I see any bodies or anything. Basically looks like it's just been abandoned.
Pretty close. I was just going to say, while you and your raven were looking about, Woodhouse had also gone in, and between the two familiars, the only bodies that you're finding in there appeared to be bodies of servants that nobody bothered to bury on the Red Morning, but they are covered with sheets, and pretty much everything else in the rest of the manor is covered in sheets as well.
There are many here who need laid to rest. Those forgotten by the upper classes and abandoned by their caretakers.
But no
Now
one
what to
moving.
do?
None who live.
That's see, that answer to my question feels very weird because I said none are moving and you said none who live. Are some of these bodies moving?
No.
Oh, okay. You scared
Just
me for a second.
No, nothing's moving. I was trying to be dramatic. It didn't work very well.
It worked. Definitely raised the tension. So should we go up then?
I mean, I think maybe we go check out that cart and see if there's anything packed on it that could be useful to us.
I mean, we
we're
could.
here.
Yeah.
You know,
We most definitely could, but
or we
also
can
when
go straight into the manor itself.
well, if we do go when we do go into the manor, I believe we will. Oh shoot! I only asked for one cup of tea. Hopefully, he makes a full pot.
Okay.
Are you
So you're
all
ready to go in?
right?
Wait, what was that, Brill?
Are you all right, Val?
Oh, most
Yes.
definitely. Oh, I'm most definitely justified.
So I guess we headed on up there.
Not for those reasons, but when we go into the manor, Brill will blink her eyes and cast detect magic without using any components because of her warlock thing. And we'll just keep an eye out for any magic as we move through the house. I don't want to get eaten by a house again.
You
So
don't
how-
want to get eaten by the house again?
Yeah.
You've had it-
Like I said, this is not like, oh, find Woodhouse at all. This is like, we're going into a possibly haunted mansion. I don't want to be surprised.
Yes, I am Lucy. No, all we need to happen now is for Frederick to reveal himself and to be a little elf, like a tiny little gnome elf, and then we have Elfo.
I don't think Frederick is Elfo.
I don't think Frederick is
No.
Elfo, but I had to say it because we have Lucy now.
Yeah,
A tear can dream.
yeah. Tear can dream, can.
Tyr can dream. I mean, Val has white hair, so close enough.
It is.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get a move on.
I'm sorry, Huli, did we go over how long ago the Red Wedding happened?
The Red
I
Morning.
want to say, wasn't it like 6 years or something?
Yeah. Something like that.
6 years. Yep.
Less than a decade, more than a couple years. I remember that.
Yeah, about 6.
Didn't have that in my notes. I apologize.
No, it's okay. You approach said mansion. You want to go to the stables first. That's right. So you're not approaching said mansion. Ignore that. Okay, so you go up. You follow yourself up along the coastline, up along the cliffs to where you find a place that's like low enough you could walk up and don't have to scale them. And you come around to the stables. When you get into the stables, You see that at one point they were very nice. There's still horse gear hung, bridles and saddles and things like that inside. Lanterns that are usable if you needed them, things like that. And you go to the cart that Sir Storic had mentioned. It isn't a packed cart, but it is very, very nice. It's lacquered with black paint, gold filigree. It's got a nice padded seat in the front. It appears some in the stable as well is a cover top that can be set over the back of it if you wanted to be covered from the outside, like a hard shell that could go up over top of it. But it's got some in the back of it is like bench seating on the sides, and they're covered with like a nice red leather, and it's a very elegant, nice, usable, in perfect condition traveling cart.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm glad that the cart's nice. I'm glad it has a top to put on it. You know, if we're ever going through Dallas, we can put that on first.
Is Brill casting detect magic?
Yes, when we enter the manor, Brill will, like I said, she doesn't need components or a spell slot. She can just do it at will, so she just kind of blinks, and her eyes get this like film over it that she, within 30 feet, she will see a glow for anything magical.
Okay. All right. When you get to the mansion, we will go over that. In the stable, what are you doing? What are you wanting to do in there?
I think we were just checking out searching the cart and seeing if there was anything in there before we were heading to the manor was all.
Yeah.
Nope. Nothing in it. Looks like it was just left parked there. Surprisingly, nobody looted it, so.
Yeah. I mean, the cart doesn't look magical to Brill, does it?
Nope, the cart does not.
Yeah.
Unless you want to cast detect magic in the stable, Brill.
Oh yeah, good point.
No.
I mean,
I mean, it's at will. Like technically,
free.
she can just
free.
always do it, but
just do it.
nah, she
It's
doesn't
free.
have a reason to. If someone says something, Brill wouldn't think that there'd be something magical in the stable just off of it.
Brill, do you want to take a look around here, make sure nothing's hidden from us?
Sure. Brill will look for any kind of like hidden doors or traps or anything of particular note.
No hidden doors, no hidden traps, but who's got identify?
Valentina does.
You want to spend some 10 minutes doing a 2-minute job?
Valentina will take the 10 minutes to ritually cast Identify, so long as Brill says please.
Yeah. So
Sure,
good
we'll
job,
say
Stork.
please.
Yeah. Good job, Stork. You realize that this cart is usable without horses as it drives itself.
That's crazy.
Val, as upon learning this, is going to look at everyone and say, "This is how magical I am," and is going to hop on it and kind of like take like a dance stance and see if she can't get it to like start moving.
Is she picking up like the reins at the front?
Yes.
Yeah, when you pick up the reins, it will kind of like lurch forward some.
Oh, that feels.
She will let go of the reins and say, "If we're claiming the manor, we're keeping this."
That's
Karnak is much happier that it's magical, and he is not going to get stuck pulling this thing.
I mean,
I don't know.
Harnock might get stuck pretending to pull this thing.
That feels like a very conspicuous way to travel, but
You know what?
we
Actually,
can
that's what I say.
definitely.
Harnock might get stuck pretending to pull this.
Yeah.
don't worry,
'cause-
Harnock. What I will do is I will grab a bag, put some water in it. You can be a goldfish, and I'll hold it with a stick out front. And
There
you
we
can
go.
pull this.
Beautiful.
Just like one of those little hobo packs for Harnock, except for a plastic bag for a goldfish.
Yep, kind of like
Lub,
that.
lub.
Or think more like the carrying the carrot for a pig,
This
like
is
a
our
Minecraft or
fish-powered
whatever.
carriage. Man, hydroelectricity's made leaps and bounds.
Hasn't it? All right. So you find a self-drawing cart, indicative of the fact that the people who lived here were in tune with magic at one point.
Yeah.
That could be a slight piece of information that you maybe want to know.
Yeah, that's a big deal. You know, if these people ruled a city and declared their own free nation where they were chill and they were chill with magic, that could be important.
That's
Maybe
true.
it was secretly a mageocracy.
Maybe it was secretly. Maybe.
Maybe it was knowingly well known as a mageocracy. Stork
So
doesn't know he wasn't here.
He doesn't. He does. You spent 100 years as a statue, you know, like whatever. All right.
Not my
So
fault
you
I wasn't alive.
It's not your fault. You're right. Poor thing. So you head up to the front door of the manor. And you open the door to go in, and it's kind of like not closed all the way. So when you reach to turn it, the door kind of like swings open. And you find yourselves here in a grand entranceway with a staircase that goes upwards. And you see from the inside a central like courtyard with trees and a little gazebo. Everything covered in dust. It looks like, you know, nobody has put away anything yet. Maybe the furniture got covered was about the only thing that got done here, aside from the Bauengrat family bodies being moved to their crypt.
As we walk through, Stork's just going to prestidigitate to start cleaning the place up since we might be stealing it.
Tina is right there with you. Like I Stork and Val just kind of look at each other and start finger gunning the dust piles.
Brill, your magical radar says ding, ding, ding over Frederick, but you don't know what or why.
Yep.
Well, whatever the school, I think Detect Magic gives you School of Magic. So whichever.
Illusion.
Yeah. Illusion classed magic will ding, ding over Frederick.
Uh-huh.
Which way do you want to go when you go in? So you come here into the door and you're in this like grand entrance way. You have a doorway to your right, a doorway to your left, stairs that go up, and then a kind of, you know, the walkway that goes around the central courtyard ahead of you either way. Which way do you want to go first?
Tina,
Val,
would you like to clean the room to the left and I'll clean the one to the right here?
just a moment, and she will kind of go quiet for a second as she will telepathically ask Woodhouse. So, what's it like in here?
Very messy, ma'am.
Were you able to procure a pot, some herbs, and some water for some tea?
I was. It is ready when you are, ma'am.
In the left or to the right?
To the left. Everything you own is in the box on the left.
All right. Val will turn to Stork and say, yes. And then we'll head that way while prestidigitating, but actually going for a cup of tea.
Sure. All right, Val goes left. You're going to go right, Storic, huh?
Yep, Stork's going into that room with the chairs and what looks like maybe a pew and a sacrificial altar, perhaps.
Okay.
It's not a sacrificial altar, but it does appear as you go in to clean it up to be some sort of ritual room. You are aware that Lysek, you were just at the temple, the Froth Temple, Froth Church, actually, is what's called. But they do worship here in Lysek. They do worship something. I'll tell you the name of it. Let me pull up a note. They do worship the nurturing sea. So you could put together maybe that this is someplace where they held a for lack of a better term, private mass.
Could I like try to look at the symbology here and try to puzzle some of it out with a knowledge religion, maybe? Or knowledge
Sure.
arcana?
Sure, you could do a religion.
I'll ask Orstein to give me like a higher up angle, look at all this symbology from another place for the help action.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty good for the first one. It's even better for the second one. That's a 23.
Okay. So, pretty much the symbology that you're able to figure out, and you read word marks as well, you'll notice that the etchings in the sides of the kind of central, this thing right here, the dais, that's the word I was looking for. The etchings on the edge of the dais are etchings of word marks that are indicative of Lagu, like representing water. And that's a majority of the symbology that you get out of it. It's just, as I said, pretty much dedicated to the nurturing sea, which is what they worshipped here, where the sea, giveth and the sea taketh sort of mindset.
Okay. So it's like a reciprocal worship. Is kind of
Pretty
they
much.
give to give back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Storic takes note of this in his little journal quick. Give and take relationship with the sea. Sea is and put nurturing question mark and draw a line up to the take.
Sure. Go ahead and give me an investigation while you're in here. Let's see if there's any remaining religious texts or anything of the sort available.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think I have anything extra I can do for this one, so I'm just gonna just make the roll. Goddamn. Okay, 25.
Okay.
God damn.
So while you're looking around, the barrels in the corner you realize are stacked in such a way that the front of them is open and they're like made into bookshelves. And inside of them you find like a stack of pamphlets that say the ceremony of the nurturing sea on them, and they're all covered in dust still, kind of faded and brown the way paper ages and such.
Yeah. I think Storic's gonna like very carefully open up one of these pamphlets and start like looking through it and maybe copying it over to his journal.
Sure. So as you read through it, you see that it was like a date that was scheduled for early summer, late spring, early summer. And they were going to be holding the ceremony of the nurturing sea. From reading through the event pamphlet, you're able to pretty much figure out that the people of Lysek would gather at the harbor to celebrate celebrate and dedicate to the sea and the great wealth it provided the city. The aristocrats, and especially the Bauengrat family, would place many offerings on boats and send them out into the water, and the event was only held if there was a good wind coming from the land to push the offerings towards the center of the bay. So there'd be things like weather permitting, date changes, stuff like that, what the aristocratic families were bringing for offering, because they want everybody to know that they're rich and famous and they have a lot of money and they can offer more than you because fuck you plebes sort of mindset.
And they're pushing it out towards the center of the bay, like where the eye of the sea is.
I think you're smart enough to figure that out since you're smart enough to ask me that question.
All right, so like where that storm was centered at.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
So okay, Stork's a pretty smart guy. He knows how his whole job is fixing when shit like this goes wrong, or at least it was.
You could deduce that.
He said the people who gave the biggest offering each year were the aristocrats and the Bauengrat family.
Yep.
All right.
You also find a note, a note in there, like as you're reading through it, that reminds everybody that the entire harbor would be closed for the entire day of the ceremony and the day after. No traffic in, no traffic out. And there you go. That's what you
All
find.
right. I think Storic, for the first time since it was given to him, is going to use this amulet of telepathy to try to reach out to Frederick. When did the plague start, Frederick?
Just after these people were killed.
What season?
Fuck, what season was it?
Mm.
I don't have that information.
No, that's fine. Let me pull up my notes. Good job. Good job, Chipper.
Good job, Chip. Stalled the game with your questions. 10 points, Gryffindor.
It was the plague started on the morning, well, right around the day of the Red Morning, because the Red Morning happened to be the morning that the ceremony of the Nurturing Sea was meant to take place.
I convey
Okay,
that
yeah.
information.
It's all coming together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Storic's going to yell out to everybody, we need to meet, we need to gather. Very important information here.
All right. So
Okay,
Stork has done that. We're going to pause right there because other people, I want to know what you guys are doing. Val, we're going to go right back to you. You went to clean the same time Stork did. You found yourself here in this left-hand room, which appears to be a very large, very formal dining room.
Okay. I will go around and prestidigitate everything. Most of the actually, no, yes, most of the dust off, and then she's going to have a nice, slow meander through what looks like the bookshelf and the two chests or wardrobes.
Mm-hmm. These china cabinets full of the fancy dinnerware on this part right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, those are china cabinets. So, like, when you look at them, it's like nice, fancy, fine dining ware, one set porcelain, one set silver, one in each cabinet. And then on the bookshelf, it's like a series of different kinds of books, mostly fiction stories and things that rich people like to have to make them look fancy,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like Dickens, Poe, all of that.
Okay. While she's pondering through the bookshelf, we'll have gone over and grabbed a cup of tea, and we'll be kind of like figuring through the books, checking many of them out. She will.
Think of them mostly as like after dinner books. So the bookshelf is a mantle over a fireplace, and there's like a lounge chair and like a small table there. So after dinner, maybe somebody is standing and reading a poem, or a performer is reading a saga or something to them while they're having dinner. It's mostly that kind of stuff. It's not the formal library there. It's just a few books. So you probably pick up a poetry book and are able to thumb through some poetry.
Okay. The room that's to the north and on the right side of it, that's just like a big old kitchen filled with empty supplies and such, right?
This is where Woodhouse is making your tea, yes.
Perfect.
And then
I will then she will then continue along the hallway and check out these other rooms along this way.
okay. So I'll say that you found Woodhouse here, and he had cleaned it up and started organizing things. None of the fishes and barrels obviously are full because nobody has lived there. And I'll give you that this room here, as you walk by, is what appears to be servants' quarters.
Okay. Okay.
Brill and Harnock, what's up, friends? What are you doing? Did you go together or did you separate?
Brill's probably gonna do rogue things and do stupid things and go upstairs by herself and look around up there a little bit.
Okay. Rogue
What
ones.
do my parasite eyes see?
Well, let's find out, shall we? Brill upstairs, maybe. Come on. Computer. Okay, here we go. You come up the stairs here, and you see a balcony that kind of goes around the, well, not necessarily a balcony, like a railing. That's the word I'm looking for. That goes around the center courtyard there. And an open space, of course, and then several doors. So which direction would Brill like to head?
She'll head to the left over here because it looks like even before she goes to a door, there's something to look around at a little closer if there's anything on the table or anything.
A set of playing cards and some children's books on this table. It looks, the way that this floor is, it's kind of like open and looks out over the courtyard. So you could assume that children would gather here and play and, things of the sort.
She'll just go like down from there and work her way around.
Starting here?
Yeah.
All right. You find a bedroom.
Oh. Is there any... Does it look like an adult's bedroom or a children's bedroom?
It looks like a teenager's bedroom.
Okay. There's nothing of interest here.
No, it's very elder princess decorated.
Okay.
Next room that you'd find is also a bedroom, similar teenage age, maybe belonging to a young man instead of a young woman. The third room that you would come across here, also a bedroom, but this one more adult.
Any kind of hidden panels of walling or hidden clasp in a drawer or something might have something hidden there?
Do rogue things and roll rogue dice, and I'll tell you.
Okay. I'm assuming investigation.
Yep.
Hey, we do rogue things. That's a 19.
You don't find any hidden panels or doorways, but there is a chest
Oh,
here.
okay.
And it would be in pretty plain sight.
Yeah.
I would say your investigation rogue things that you've done have provided that it is a simple lock to pick.
Okay. If there doesn't seem to be any trap, she'll try to pick it. Why not?
Go for it. Sleight of hand. Well, thieves' tools.
Yeah. That was not a super great one. Thieves' tools would be dexterity, which is 2 plus proficiency. That's a whopping 10. But you said it was a simple lock, so that's probably okay.
Yeah, I think a 10 hits a simple lock. So you find some things inside of the chest. Mostly appears to be jewels and gold. Would you like to know more?
Yes. I'm
All
a
right.
rogue.
Yes,
I
Federation
like
official.
shiny things.
Mhm.
I was hoping
Nice.
somebody was going to pick that up.
I love
you-
Starship Troopers.
Yep.
Oh, that is things.
You find gold, silver, copper, some blue quartz, some eye agate, some malachite, some moss agate, some obsidian, and some of that R word that I don't know how to say. Rhodochrosite?
Something like that.
Sure.
I'll start piling that into the relatively now empty bag of holding that only has a belt on it that Brill still might put on at some point.
Sure. All right, so that's that room. That's 3 rooms. We're going to stop there with you.
Yep.
Harnock, where are you is and what is you doing? Did you go up or did you stay down?
Harnock was gonna stay down.
Okay, let's see which direction you've gone here, friend. This would be much easier if I was able to have maps in one location, but since I'm having to not be able to do that. Okay, which way would you have went?
So I was actually gonna say, since Valentina went left, Stork went right, and Brill went upstairs, Harnock was gonna stay towards the middle and actually try and keep an eye on Frederick.
Gonna try to stay to the middle?
Yeah, I was gonna try and stay in the middle of everybody.
Okay. As much as you want to try to keep your eye on Frederick, he's pretty crafty and nimble, kind of like how Brill Rogue Gunner Rogue kind of is. Yeah. That's Frederick. He's off doing whatever it is that Frederick is off doing. So you can't really keep an eye on him, but you could look around here in the center. It's some plants and things your druid heart might be happy to be around.
Yeah, that's why he was kind of drawn towards the middle. He's going to be kind of investigating around there. Yeah.
So go ahead and give me some investigation and let's see what you find.
Investigation. Give me plus 5. 17.
Okay. So when you go out, you see a very dusty kind of rug under the tree. The trees seem to be kind of dying some because they're not being tended and taken care of. Overgrown with some thorny bushes and things of the like. Some pretty purple flowers growing in there might be interesting to your friend. And the gazebo. Inside the gazebo is like a picnic table style setup.
He's going to go in the gazebo and kind of look around, see if there's anything else to notice.
Nothing in there.
Okay.
Dust. Lots of dust.
I do not have the means to clean this up.
Do you have the means to fix the plant life, though?
I do. I was just thinking about casting Druidcraft.
I was just going to say, you have Druidcraft, don't you?
Mm-hmm. He's going to try and make it look all pretty in here.
Sure. So you do Druidcraft cantrip, I believe, right?
Yes.
So you do. You're able to magically use your druidic, lineage and revive the plants to where they're like thriving and whatnot again. The leaves rebloom, they get their color back. The vines of thorns and such reseed. The flowers bloom where they were like dead and falling over and such. You clean it up. Trees come back, Yeah, whatever happens to nature when it's not decaying, that's what's happening. The opposite.
As out of a place that it is, Harnock's actually just kind of gonna sit down for a minute and enjoy nature.
Sure. Are you gonna stay in the gazebo or are you gonna sit on the comfy sitting cushion area?
He's gonna go to the comfy sitting cushion area.
Sure. Do it up, Harnock. Relax. Perfect. Frederick. Speaking of Rogue Gunner Rogue.
Yes.
Which way you going? Up, right?
Yes. The opposite way that Brill went. Or Brill, I should say.
Which room you want to go to first? This one here, or?
Start maybe furthest away from the stairs and work his way back.
So down in this area then? Or up this way, I mean.
Yeah, up there.
Okay. All right. So if you come up all the way around, if you checked in this room first, you'd realize it was a washroom. Most of these rooms are bedrooms. This upper, what is this? The right side, upper right is a sea-themed room. There's nets and tridents and fish and a statue of Otto Bauengrad also in this room. There's a chest in there. If you wanted to do rogue things at the chest, you could.
Yeah, sure. I'll go over and try and open it.
Sure. Go ahead and roll your ridiculously high rogue numbers, and let's see what's in there.
Oh crap, what the hell do I roll for this again?
I mean,
This is my first time playing rogue.
are you a high enough rogue that you have the reliable talent or whatever, where if you have proficiency, you can't roll less than a 10?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay.
You roll your sleight of hand plus proficiency.
Right. But I'm assuming a d20 roll.
Yeah. D20 plus your sleight of hand modifier and your proficiency.
26.
Okay. So you pop the chest open and you find a bunch of stuff. Gold, silver, copper. A pewter torch etched with dwarven axe heads. That should be torch, not torque. A set of crystal dice, a stoneware salt cellar adorned with silver, and a crown and a throne. You know, that word. Earthenware tureen, an earthenware vase, a potion of greater healing, and 5 potions of standard healing.
Fair enough.
Nice shit, man.
Good fight. Good fight.
That's some good money.
Yeah, you're kind of broke, so.
Okay.
You ready to
Alright,
go
guys,
to
we
the
just gotta
next?
rob Fred now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so you go in the next room. It's another bedroom. This one more feminine in appearance. It looks to be like a ladies' room. There's the vanity, the sitting area, things of the such. And you guessed it, another chest.
Sure, I'll open this one too.
Okay, you can.
Curse you.
This one, surprisingly for a ladies' room, contains things that maybe might not be seen as ladylike.
Oh.
A +1 short bow, a +1 crossbow, an amulet of proof against detection and location, some diamonds, some sardonyx, some moonstone, and some coin.
Cool.
And then your third room
Right.
I'll give to you is going to be a tinker's room. Looks like the family had enough money to have somebody on hand on staff that was able to tinker / blacksmith / whatever the hell they paid him to do, sort of space.
Anything of note in this room?
Nope, just some mundane tools, things of the sort, a forge and whatnot as well.
Fair
Like
enough.
building plans and stuff like that, but nothing really that's going to be potentially noteful to people who are looking for more than, the schematics to build a new carriage.
Okay, next room then.
All right. The last room on that line is going to be what looks to be an herb room or plants and flowers. What do they call those rooms? Something like that.
Flora.
Like a botanical, a room
Yeah.
for study of botanical stuff. That
Like
kind of thing.
or something.
Yeah, like where you would study for like a herbologist kit.
Oh, like a botanist study.
Yeah, like that. That's the word, botany. like a botanist study room. All the plants, while still in their pots, are unalived. And the last room is a larger bathroom.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that's what Frederick's doing. Now is when Sir Storic would have said to you, "Hey, I know some shit. Come here."
A Almir.
Sir
You
Storic's got like all these pamphlets spread out in front of him. He's got a wild look in his eyes, like, I've figured it out. I know exactly what's going on. And they're all spread out on like this central dais.
Teen will look to Woodhouse and and tell him, I'll bring the cups if you bring the pots. I feel like they might like some tea too. And then that should be all I should need of you for right now. Not my entire servant. You are a companion. And we'll look for a platter with more cups, and start walking him over to where Storic is.
Yeah, so Woodhouse is ahead of the game and assumed whenever he asked for tea that everybody would be taking tea and already had it made, so don't have to worry, and he'll carry it all out behind you. It's just like, unless you're going to carry it and not show a floating tea.
Oh, there's definitely a floating kettle.
Yep, so there you go.
But when Tina comes into the room, she will kind of wave her finger and cast a mage hand, and you with the mage hand, just as invisible as the imp, will start moving the cups over to people. In fact, we'll even try and be as slick as possible with it. If Woodhouse is feeling feisty, he goes to pour, and Tina they're moving the pot and that at the same time and handing the poured cup of tea to people.
Sure, yeah. Woodhouse is spicy. He'll do spicy boy things.
I'm here for
I
it.
appreciate a good prank, ma'am.
Tina will just kind of chuckle a little bit, but we'll look over to Frederick if he did come down and ask if he wants some. Everyone else doesn't have everyone else's consent doesn't matter. They get a couple anyways.
No, he's just gonna walk into the room and pull a small flask and take a drink and then put it away.
Oh, you were serious when you said you don't drink in front of when you don't drink in front of women.
It's not alcohol.
Again, fair enough.
Okay.
So is everyone gathering, or is there anybody who's like, no, I've found something I'm going to keep looking at?
Yeah, Harnock will come in, and he's going to kind of position himself across from Frederick. He can't watch him disappear, but he's trying.
Just to confuse him, can I pop my copy up behind him?
That is rude. I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, Storic's got all these pamphlets spread out in front of him. He's got Charlie Day in the mailroom energy. I've connected the dots in one of three ways. I'm not sure which one yet. So, the red morning was the day of this festival, and he points at the pamphlet. The day this was supposed to happen, the red morning happened, and this didn't. Now, according to Frederick, the plague started very quickly after that festival didn't happen, the red morning did. And we know the vampires and the plague are sort of connected, but not quite. So what I'm wondering is if perhaps the Bowengrots had their ritual they did each year to please the nurturing sea, and the vampires used the ritual sacrifice of the Bowengrots to become vampires. And that accidentally set off a plague, I'm thinking. Or on purpose set off a plague. Though it doesn't seem like the vampires really benefit from the plague, so I'm not sure there.
Do you have any notion that's bowers were able to complete their ritual, their yearly ritual, before they were ended untimely?
No, the festival didn't happen because they got.
Just
So
for clarification, is that in here? Like, are we sure that the red morning was the day of the festival?
That's what Frederick told me.
Okay. I mean, it certainly all seems connected. I don't know if there's something that can really help us.
Maybe we could do the ritual
I
the
mean,
way
I
it was supposed to
found
happen.
there was some like money and jewels and stuff upstairs. We could, I guess, send it out into the ocean. That's pretty much what the ritual was, right?
Shoving a bunch
to-
of valuables into the ocean, yeah. That's what it looks like it says here. And then, like, poor people had to give too, but I'm guessing it was whatever was valuable to them. I'm not sure. I'm not quite certain, but I'm sure we can find more information on it here in town. Do you remember, Frederick, what they did at the festival?
No, I wasn't here then.
Ah. But yes, I'm sure there's more. Someone in town has to know, right? Maybe that, or maybe the old lady we were talking to before, the herbalist. She might know.
she may very well. She would be keen to. Val kind of trails off on another thought for a second. I'm sorry. She may be keen to let us know. She did seem very happy that I had such a long, good lecture with.
She's some form of kin of mine, I believe. So perhaps she'd be willing to aid us.
I'm very certain she would. Val will take a sip of the tea.
What did you all find while you looked around?
Oh, I found the servants' quarters, some after dinner books in the dining room, and a rather barren kitchen. Otherwise, I didn't get a chance to check the back of the bottom floor.
Yes, I got held up in here, much the same. There's just so much to learn.
Ah, this is good tea, Woodhouse. Thank you.
Brilla, what did you find, if anything?
Some jewels, a little bit of copper, silver, gold.
The goods you mentioned earlier. That's all.
Yeah, there were some bedrooms up there. I mean,
I think Don froze on us.
Don, no.
I couldn't tell if it was Don's PC freezing or just actual Don. Oh, Don's back.
yeah, that was weird. The internet like just disconnected me and then reconnected. But yeah, there a healthy amount of gold, some gemstones. Nothing too crazy.
That'll be useful for us in the long term, no matter what. Good supply to gather. Harnock or Frederick, anything for you?
No, I just investigated the middle and revived the plants.
Nothing of interest.
Incite the Frederick. No, I'm just kidding.
No insight on.
Go ahead if you want.
I ain't gonna beat your deception. I don't think I can.
You never know.
I'm
You don't know
inciting
what my
Frederick.
points are at, do?
You're right, but I know I have a +1 to insight, and that is the most I got.
I'm looking into Frederick here. That's a nat one.
Well,
Chaos coin.
I have a chaos
at
coin.
least you have a chaos coin. Yep.
I have
And
a
one
chaos coin for doing the intro. I'm going to spend it.
go for it.
That's still a nat one.
That's 2 chaos coins.
He is just a statue.
He's the statue
no.
you wish you were.
God damn.
He's a Sam Elliott statue we all love.
Yep, the Sam Elliott statue, of course. That
I wish I could do the voice, but I can't.
At least you're not speaking Admech.
Yeah. You don't. You believe Frederick? He didn't find shit.
All right.
Huh.
You know, I expected you to be a bit more helpful when you came along, Frederick.
I mean, all we have done today is set a mansion. It's not exactly combat, but there are some potions upstairs if you want them.
I mean, you know, you're a thief. I'd think you'd be finding valuables in a mansion.
Whoever said I was a thief?
What kind of potion?
Some regular, a greater.
I mean, if we're gonna go, is that what you meant when you said you wanted to help? You want to go storm the belfry?
Oh, I was going to do it anyway, but meat shields are helpful.
Valor's just.
This is a completely different man than he was last session.
Right,
Last session,
like
he was a completely different man than
last session. I was like,
before
help us storm the belfry, and he's like, give me a reason to, and I was like, yeah, I was gonna do it. I was bored.
And
I was bored. You look like you take a hit or two.
This is the 6-year-old who's having fun at the amusement park now that they're there. Well, I was always gonna come. It's like my favorite place.
Val's just sipping her tea, watching this, and kind of like reaches over for another cup, has it poured, and takes another sip, and then just says, "You all are terrible at reading people, aren't you?"
Shut up.
Wait, are you talking to Fred at this point?
No, this is directed at her party. Like she literally.
I was about to say.
No.
You're
I
terrible
never
at reading
claimed to
people.
I never claimed to be good at it.
Well, I can tell you enough that if he was willing enough to tell us to leave and never come back, that either A, he didn't want us to get in the way, or B, he actually thought that we were at a very grand risk. And if he thought that we were at a very grand risk, then he had lots more information about it. A man of his stature, I'm guessing he's been, and she'll look over to Frederick. I'm going to guess you've been keeping an eye on this.
Stork folds his hands in front of him. Valentino, what you're doing now is called justifying past actions with future information.
While they're doing this, like his coffee's just gonna walk over and take a cup and drink it.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
And it
Not a
goes
bit-
straight
no
through it
longer
onto the floor.
Oh.
Val stops mid sentence, looks down at the spilled tea, looks over to Woodhouse and just kind of mouths, "I'm sorry," and then looks back at Frederick and asks, "How long have you been watching the belfry exactly?"
Since I arrived.
Well,
That's not exact. How many years?
Oh, I didn't arrive here until after the plague did.
When you say
So
arrive,
in the last 5 years.
Yes.
what do you mean when you say arrived?
I mean, I wasn't brought here until the plague started.
Brought here. Who brought you?
My prey.
But what's it, and your prey is?
I'm thinking his prey is what's in the belfry.
Smart one.
What happened
I'm
to
just
you?
curious why the tea fell on the ground. I'm confused though, Frederick.
He snaps his fingers and the copy just fades away like it did at the bar.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you got two of them in the room.
Oh.
One Frederick, one copy.
A dabble of illusionary magic, but perhaps not casted.
All right. So, is there? We still need to search the back of this floor, I believe, but I think we've got a pretty good look through most of the mansion so far. Yeah.
I mean, most of it. Certainly not all of it. What? We want to. Frederick, do you have any vested interest in this manor? You were kind
I
of here
mean-
first.
It's been a good place to hide out since they died, but you can have it if you wish.
Were you here a couple nights ago when we first showed up?
Let's just say I've been around.
The body you said you would be there to identify.
Wait. Yo, Fred, you just been living with all these dead servants?
The dead do not bother me, I do not bother the dead.
They stink by now, yeah?
Well, I mean,
I've smelled that on my time.
if that's the case, I guess we can assume they're not gonna like get up and attack us in the middle of the night or something if he's been staying here already, right?
You know what assumption?
Unless they do not react to the dead.
They say about assuming.
That's what I said. You know what assumptions do, right?
They make an ass out of you and me.
Mm. So you want to find the bodies. That's what you're saying, Tina. Yeah.
Oh no. That was more so because last session Frederick mentioned that
He wants
He would
somebody
be-
dead
he-
and
he-
he needs to identify their body.
yeah, he would identify their body. He won't give a specific thing. So Val was about to ask before Stork we got like caught up in like, wait, if his prey was related to the body that he needs to identify. While she's just kind of thinking about that in her own head, and while they're continuing the conversation, she will head to the back to check out the other rooms.
Back on the other side where she was initially.
Yeah, she'll go left to right.
Okay.
No more snack time at the ritual chamber?
Yep. Next time at the ritual chamber. All right.
Woodhouse
So,
will
More
pour
like
another
tea
cup
time.
of tea for Storic at the mention.
so you'll find Tina. You'll find a bathroom. You'll find a meeting room with the huge map of Lysec on the center of it. And there is a chest in that room and a statue also in that room.
I will check the chest for trap.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I don't need those dice. 13 plus, is it investigation?
Yes, investigation.
23.
No traps, but it is locked.
Val will telepathically have Woodhouse whisper to Brill to come to that back room with her
Okay.
lockpicks.
All right, Brill, you hear some whispering from the teapot in your ear telling you that Valentina requests your presence in the far left corner of the mansion.
Brill looks at the teapot and is just going with the things that are happening today because today has been all kinds of weird. And is gonna shrug her shoulders and just go to the back rooms.
Okay.
The back rooms.
While waiting for Brill, I will check out the statue real quick.
Mm-hmm. It seems to be another statue of Otto.
Otto.
Yeah, Otto Bauengrat.
Got you. I would like to investigate it for any little hidden cubby holes. Perhaps I need to move the hand or something the right way.
Mm-hmm. So investigate.
That'll be a 26.
Okay. Yeah, you see that if you were to adjust the sword that the statue is holding, it would click a button, and upon clicking, the button would open.
Boop.
Something.
And what do I win, Huli? Is it behind door number 1, reroll new character? Door number 2, become undead, or door number 3?
Actually, what happens is it slides, a compartment kind of pops out of the front of it, and you realize it was a place where they were hiding some better treasure. And you find a bunch of stuff.
Who needs rogue things when you're
Booze,
just also
booze,
smart?
booze, booze, booze.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
secret tunnel! Secret. I imagine Brill kind of walks in, probably looks at the chest, looks at Val, and just like pauses as she's just holding up a giant mound of money in her hands. Like, I don't think we're hurting for money anymore. Staring intensifying.
I mean, he can read everyone in this room right now so easily. So yes, staring, intensifying.
So that's the stuff that you find in the secret spot. And Brill, you go ahead and open the chest, and you find some other stuff.
Nice go.
Oh.
Some more coins and gems and some scrolls in here. But you don't know what the scrolls are without somebody who has magic identifying them. Same with any of the items that you have found. You don't know if they're magical or not without, spending 10 minutes to do a job.
I have detect magic, so I could tell they're magic scrolls.
But you don't know. Yeah, but you wouldn't know what they do.
Right.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
So yeah, once she'll going through things, be putting all the gems in the bag, and then when she gets to the scroll, she'll hold it out to Tina and be like, I think you might want to look at this and this and this.
4 of them. Oh yes.
Right? I think 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's a potion as well that she'll hand to you for identification as well.
Mm-hmm.
The staring contest. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the staring contest that's happening between Woodhouse, Harnock, and Fred now.
Okay, so Val will have Brill come over and say, Brill, are you still seeing things differently right now?
No, Val, I handed you those scrolls randomly.
Well, just
Jesus Christ.
Val just kind of sits there and contemplates her actions for a moment, and then just kind of looks over at kind of beckons you over to come look at all the items in here real quick so we can add them in. Tell me how many of these things glow. And when Brill comes by, is gonna gib smack the back of your head.
And Brill will essentially point it out. Looks, I think in what you found there's some kind of brooch looking thing and some crossbow bolts that glow, and I think that's all of the glow I see.
Yeah, I think it's just a pair. Everything else is just like expensive looking or okay, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Tina will put many of that in. She will take 50 of the platinum pieces and put them in her scroll fund, so that way she never has to take from group loot again. And we'll also take 100 gold. But otherwise, we'll put the rest into group loot.
Yeah, you guys can sort that out amongst yourselves afterwards. That's your problem, not mine.
Group
I'm not your
loot.
party treasurer. I'm only party treasurer on Thursday nights, not Monday.
Hey, our party treasurer is a rogue. I don't expect to see any of it back. I'm kidding.
The party treasurer only wants to worry about the treasury, all of the scrolls, potions, that stuff. Like, I'll take gems and gold, and I'll be in charge of that.
Mm-hmm.
Harnock completely trusts Bro with gold.
We honestly
Yeah.
can trust Brill with gold. Brill hasn't given us a reason, but Frederick has given us a reason that we don't know about.
You guys,
Twice.
you
Yes.
guys say that, but y'all just keep giving stuff to Brill.
Fair.
Brill doesn't need to do rogue things.
Just wait until I have my own chest in the astral plane. Then I don't need your bag of holding anymore.
There is in the room that you're in, it appears to be like an official meeting room style room. On the table is a map of Lysec, and there is a dagger stuck in the map.
Oh yes, that's right. I almost forgot because I was too bent on finding the real good treasure. Val will, with Brill, also point out the map and like start looking it over. She'll kind of like edge any of the creases and study the map, any waypoints or things that they might have, and any things of note.
The dagger in the map is stuck in the eye of the sea.
Tina will kind of trail her fingers over that spot for a moment, and as she does, kind of get remembering that we frickin' got tipped upside down, Misty
Shipwreck.
stepping on top of the shipwreck. And then she'll also point at the dagger and look at Brill to see if Brill notices that the dagger looks special or anything, or if it's just a regular dagger.
It does, in fact, look special.
Yes, it is a special dagger.
She will reach to the dagger and with her gloved hand, taking a moment to like look over her hand for a moment, remembering that she couldn't see it for a good while yesterday, will unstick the dagger and will roll up the map.
Okay.
I mean, do we have to roll it up? I thought we were just moving in here.
On the off chance that I'd like to keep it on us until we come back here for sure.
Okay. That's great.
Just to be sure.
I'll tell you about the last room over there. And I know
the study room?
Yep. It's just you don't find anything magical because I know you're going to ask me this already. There's no magic books or anything of the like in there. Nothing that's going to teach you any new spells or any new alchemy potions. I'm sorry, not sorry for you. But your stone friend has decided to take off into the basement of the wine cellar, which is actually potentially problematic, but we'll address that at next Monday's session.
Oh, fun.
Oh no.
The end of the session, it comes to Storic getting knocked down the stairs, and they're now becoming visible as Woodhouse holding the pipe in the wine in the back room.
Storic, why don't you tell me before I take us out what it looks like when Storic gets up and walks off?
Yeah, Storic actually never left the ritual room to begin with. You know, he was in there having his tea still. Everyone else sort of got off and walked off to the back rooms. Storic finishes his tea, looks up at Orstein. You'll wait around and let them know where I've gone? Wonderful. I'm going to check out the cellar. And just walks off, leaving Orstein in the room, standing on the dais.
Okay. So you take off to the stairs at the back of the house that leads you towards the cellar. And when you do, you go down, and it's fairly dark down there. Stork, you have
I've got dark vision from my
Yes,
belt of
that's
dwarven kind.
that's what word I was looking for. Dark vision. So you can see in shades of gray and such. So you take yourself down, and you find yourself in a wine cellar. The cleanest part of this whole house is this wine cellar. And in the back of the wine cellar, you see 3 very long, rectangular shaped boxes, I'll call them.
Oh, ooh, no. That is Curse of Strahd. Reminds me of Curse of Strahd right now.
On that note, we're going to run right over to Mistress Winter's Court, where they, I believe, are playing Pathfinder this evening. Have fun and enjoy that, friends, and tune in next week for the Death of Sir Stork. It's going to be a fun time. Woo! We'll see everybody Thursday. Come and hang out on Thursday with us. We're going into episode 2 of our Eberron campaign, DM'd by Chip himself. So, on that note, goodbye and good night.
Everyone deny the dragon
Wish me
technology.
good luck.
Yeah,
Everyone
wish you
deny
good luck.
dragon technology.